Do you encourage your companies, the employees of your companies, to have the same thinking as you do? And if you do, what policy do you employ?
That's a good question. We have the corporate matching fund system that many companies do. We're not a corporation. We're a small, privately held company, but we have a matching funds, and we have a family foundation, and we give money from the foundation to each employee to spend on charities. And I think that I'm not sure exactly of the exact policy, but it's something nice like that. Well, it might be that if the employee, well, that's a matching thing, so I said that. That's it. Yes?
I asked this to actually one of the other speakers a few weeks ago in the other event, and I agree with you 100%, but just for the sake of playing the other side, what do you think about in a case where if you give, you're not actually helping the person help themselves?
Good question. Give a man a fish and he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish and he eats for a lifetime. But he might not eat that day because he might not learn how to fish that well that day. So do both. I mean, that's a pretty short answer. I like it. Another question? Yes?
Yeah, what were the biggest influences that helped shape your attitudes towards giving?
The biggest influence, I hope, if my memory stays well, while you were halfway through your question, I thought of my mother giving me money to the people standing outside Bloomingdale's when I was little. My father, I remember vividly, read an article about a college in Jamaica, Queens, that had a broken elevator. And he called the college. He was in the real estate business, so he knew about building maintenance issues. He called the college, talked to some people there, and sent a check. And that was very influential to me. And the other story about my father that's super influential is during the Serbian, Yugoslavian, Croatian, Bosnian War in the early 90s, he wanted I guess it was the American Jewish Committee, to give money to the Muslims that were being tortured and murdered there. And he called David Harris at the AJC, and Mr. Harris, who's still in charge there, said that this was a wonderful idea. And my father then called 9 of his friends, and they each contributed a like amount, and they came up with $1 million. And through the International Rescue Committee, that money was distributed over there. A friend of mine was in the area, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and it's almost unbelievable. It is unbelievable, but it happened. She met some old Yugoslavian general and was talking to some people over there, and they were talking to her, and it came up that this man remembered that gift to the Muslim community. Staggering. So those are pretty heavy influences. Another question? Yes?
If you only have $50, how do you decide whether to give it to 50 different people $1 or whether to give it to one person one time that can change his life?
That's a good question, and when you hear a question, stuff comes into one's head. What came into my head just now is I ran into a homeless person. I was walking along the street, and there was a homeless person. He asked me for some money, and I gave him $1. And I guess I was going to buy some food or say hello to someone else. And when I came back, I saw him, and he was eating a cantaloupe melon. And I was like, wow, that's great. That he took the money and bought the melon. I don't know if it actually happened, but that's how I feel about it. So if it depends if you want to. How do you? It's your compassionate instinct. I know it's like a fallback answer, but if you know 50 people who could each use $1, or if you know one person who could use $30 and another person who could use $20, then help them both. Or give the one person $50 and go on with your life. Because you can't spend 100% of your time doing this, because you have to make some money so you can have a nice life, and hopefully you can make some excess money and give that away. Yes, sir.
I'm a giver. So people that are givers like me appreciate people that are givers like you. So one day I had the experience, I saw a man collecting bottles, and he didn't ask for any money, but I had money, and I knew he was trying to get money. He was collecting bottles, so I gave him a $5 bill. This guy was ecstatically happy to have that $5. My question to you is, what made you feel the best when you actually gave somebody something? What was your best favorite experience?
I got to go back to this cantaloupe story because it was so direct. But it reminds me of, there was a group called Farmers Against Hunger, and it was run by the New Jersey Agricultural Society. And what they did was they picked up excess crops from all the farms in New Jersey, and not all the farms, but some of the farms, and they brought it to people who would then take them and cook them. And I love this charity. And I even had a nice t-shirt. But then it turned out that the director of the program had a big issue with the people running the program, because they were using the trucks for personal use, and they weren't doing the right thing. And doing the right thing is number one. It's like 1A of the 10 Commandments, in my opinion.
Lawrence, can we take one more and then
Sure.
offer dessert to people?
Yes.
Okay.
One more question. There it goes. That was first.
So there's a for sale sign outside the building. And so I guess H might be moving. So when H moves, does a portion of that sale go towards H, or is there something built into the real estate when this building like is old?
There's a very good question. I have no idea.
What do you think you do?
I really don't know. I think I know who owns the building. I think that the H Center should stay here, but I know that currently it is not actually here. It's here sometimes, but I encourage you to speak with Rabbi Jacobs about that. I think that I've been here on Monday nights during the September to May, and I've seen it packed with people who are learning Torah and learning to communicate with each other and being communal, and it's beautiful. So I hope that someone comes and keeps the goodwill going. Thank you very much.